Welcome to another episode of You Know.
Ball, baby.
I'm going to let you have that one. Brought to you by the Run the Play Network. I'm your host, Anthony. To my right, I got the man, the myth, the legend, Philly Phil in the building. Phil, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good. I was just thinking about that video with Tyler, the Creator, making them waffles. So I was like,
I don't know that
man.
video.
I want some waffles now, man. I feel like Donkey from Shrek.
Let's get some waffles after this. I'm down. Not our first time.
Waffle.
When power out, we get waffles. So we could crank out some waffles. We could also crank out some free jerseys for the fans. Yep, that's right. We're going to be giving away one free jersey to whoever could win our March Madness bracket. You could join that by clicking the link in the description, heading over to our Discord server. The link will be in there. Come chat with us. Come talk to us. But if you could beat Deuce or Izzy, if you could beat Philly Phil, if you could beat me, and then, if you could get first place out of everyone in the Discord server, which it is a small Discord, so you do have a pretty fair, pretty even, pretty easy chance at winning a jersey.
Yes, sir.
Hop on in there, man. If you know college ball, we haven't been locked in on college ball lately. I mean, I'm speaking for myself. I don't know about you. I know you be watching your Dookies.
I'm going to say I've been like 15% locked in or 20.
I'll probably give myself 12. 12% locked in. So, two casuals giving you a chance at a free jersey. Tap into that. Be ready. Be alert. Be aware. Today, we're going to be going through our NBA awards predictions. Phil, how was this for you?
Honestly, I thought it was pretty fun. I thought I was going to be bored for a sec because I was like, I feel like these awards are kind of like, I felt like they were obvious like before I really looked into it. But I was like, wait, this could go a little deeper than I thought. Maybe, depending on how we look at the MVP thing.
Yeah.
Never know. But I think this is going to be interesting when we talk about it.
I think it's all perspective. I think it's interesting when you do it the way we did it. Like, don't go off of, right? You didn't go off who you think's going to win. You went off if you had a vote, who you'd vote for?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I feel like for videos like that, if it's predicting who's going to win every award, like, you don't need to watch a video for that. Go on FanDuel Sportsbook. Go look at the odds. They'll probably have a better chance than whatever video you're talking about. But we are breaking down, if I had a vote, who I would vote for. And we could kick it off by talking about the Rookie of the Year. The Rookie of the Year, to me, I feel like is one of those awards where if you really look into it, it's a lot closer than what the NBA's rookie ladder is looking like. There's like probably 7 or 8 rookies that I feel like could be in real conversations for this.
Yeah.
My number 3 for Rookie of the Year. You want to do it like that? Or how you want to do
that?
this?
Let's do that.
Okay, my number 3 for Rookie of the Year, I have Jalen Wells. I feel like he's done a good job this season at stepping up when his team got hurt. He's been playing good basketball for a competitive team. So I'm going to give him his flowers. Number 3 might feel a little low, but I think the other two are doing just a little bit better than what Jalen Wells is doing this season.
Yeah. Honestly, I had him at number 3 as well.
Okay.
Only because, like, yes, he's doing really well on a winning team, and he's also, like, well, I mean, he's winning. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he's playing this role. But the other guys I have over him, I would vote for.
Okay. My number 2, I have Stephon Castle. So Stephon Castle is another dude who I think is contributing to winning basketball. Actually, not really. He's playing well. He's contributing to his team's wins, but not necessarily winning basketball. I just think number 1, I have Zachary Risachet. I feel like he kind of fits the role player role more, and he could also be good with the ball. I also think he's shooting very well, shooting 35% from 3, which is what he probably will hit 40 eventually in his career. I think it's a good step. But Stephon Castle just isn't shooting the ball well enough for me to put in there, and their numbers are so close where I'm going to take the more efficient guy.
Okay. You said, so your number 1 is
Risachet.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't have Risachet on my list.
Okay.
Only because I was more impressed with these other guys, but
go ahead.
Shout out still to Zachary Shai. He's balling. But at number 2, I had Alexander Sarr because he's been doing a really good job with points and boards and blocks. So I value that a lot. So I had him number 2. But number 1, I had to go with Stephon Castle only because, like, the points he's been putting up and the way he's been stepping up from coming off the bench, I thought is just super impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give him his flowers for sure. But Castle's averaging 13, 3, and 3. Zach's averaging 12, 4, and 1, shooting more efficiently. So I'm going to take that into account a little bit more than Castle, who's shooting like under 30%.
Yeah.
Like that's just not amazing to me. Again, no disrespect to Castle. Castle to me was always going to be a project when he got drafted.
Yeah.
And I feel like just because everyone didn't like the number 1 pick, no one's giving the number 1 pick enough credit this season because he has been playing his ass off. But shout out Alex Sarr too. I think Alex Sarr is a great player. I just don't think he has the numbers to be in my Rookie of the Year conversation.
That is true. I think the injuries kind of messed him up too.
That too. Shout out Isaiah Collier. That's a dude that I wanted to put on here.
Oh.
But I just couldn't. It's a good rookie class, bro. I'm telling you guys, like, for everyone that was shitting on it, like, it's not – there's no LeBron in this class, but there is, like, 10 to 15 players. Like, Yves Messi I thought was going to be on yours. He's not there. Like, there's just so many dudes that could have won.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of talented guys. Let's talk about Defensive Player of the Year, though.
I'm just impressed with all of them, bro.
Yeah. Number 3 for Defensive Player of the Year.
All right. For me.
You want to just go through your 3, 2, 1?
Yeah.
You do it, and then I'll do it?
Yeah, sure. Okay. At number 3, do we just say it, or do we explain while we go? Or do we just explain at the end?
You can explain it. Talk it out.
Okay. At number 3, this makes me sad because I really wanted him to win it. But at number 3, I have Dyson Daniels.
Okay.
Now,
Damn.
Whoa, that was crazy. He's been going in this year. He's been playing way better than I thought he would. But the 2 guys I have above him, I just think I've been doing a much better job, and I've been in a better winning situation. Because I was looking at defensive win shares to go into this, and I feel like that should matter with this. So that's the only reason why I have him low. Because also, well, I mean, they're not really in contention for anything.
Yeah.
These other 2 are in contention, so that's what plays into it for me. Number 2, Jaren Jackson Jr.
Okay.
Memphis Grizzlies. I know I hate on them, but the one player that I really am impressed with is Jaren Jackson Jr.
You've been sleeping on Ja, bro.
I'm going to.
Still? Ja's been hooping lately, bro.
Still gonna sleep.
You're crazy.
Still gonna sleep.
I guess we'll see.
Still gonna sleep.
I hope they play y'all in the playoffs.
I hope they do,
Memphis
so we can
in
beat
5.
them again.
Memphis in 5.
But Jaren Jackson Jr. has been having a good season. Now, defensive win share is on as high as Dyson Daniels at a 2.6 compared to his 2.9, but he has been playing really well still, and he has been locking up some of the best players on the other team. Number 1, I feel like this should be obvious, Evan Mobley.
Yeah.
Evan Mobley's been having such a good year. Defensive win share is 3.1. Defensive blocks plus minus 1.6. And yes, it isn't as high as Dyson Daniels, but hey, there's a reason why Cleveland's been doing as well as they have.
Yeah.
There's a reason, and it's because they have that big man duo too. Not just Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, but that big man duo, and Evan Mobley's been leading it.
Yeah, I mean, I take a different approach than you for Defensive Player of the Year. I look more at eye test and what I see. And before, like, I feel like it's kind of easy to hate on that, but I do watch every team pretty locked in.
Yeah.
So I do feel strong and confident in what I'm talking about. Jaren isn't in my top 3.
Okay.
I think Jaren, to me, has developed more into an offensive player. But he's still, like, a monster on defense, too.
Yeah.
He's just... Jaren Jackson is so fucking good at basketball. He's really good on both sides of the ball. But my number 3, call it bias all you want, but I'm going to have Lou Dort at number 3. I think he's the best eligible defender on the best defensive team in basketball.
Yeah.
I got to give him his credit in that. I think if Chet was healthy, I'd have Chet here instead of Lou Dort. But I'm going to put Lou Dort here because I think on the perimeter, there's not many players that do it like Lou. Number 2, I have Dyson Daniels, who I think isn't as good on the ball of a defender as Lou Dort, but off the ball, he's just in every fucking passing lane.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give Dyson Daniels his credit. His steals, obviously, I think he's averaging 3 this season. He's just been a monster.
3.
But my number 1 is Evan Mobley. I think it is kind of obvious the rest of the season. When Wemby went out, it kind of – and I'm happy Evan Mobley is going to win it this year because once Wemby comes back, he probably will never win another one, you know. So I'm going to give Evan Mobley his shout here. Evan Mobley at 1, Dyson at 2, Lou Dort at 3.
How would you feel if Jaren Jackson Jr. won it again?
I don't think he deserves it this year. If I'm being honest, I don't think he deserves it this year. I don't put him in that top 3 conversation. So I wouldn't love it. But if Dyson Daniels won it, I'd be cool with it.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with it. Excuse me. We got some other awards to talk about. But before we do, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Boom Fantasy.
Man, okay, LeBron hit my parlay. Let's get it.
Oh, shit, he hit it?
Yeah, bro. Look at this.
I won $200. I tailed your parlay.
How the heck did you win $200?
I used Boom Fantasy. I used their pick and spin, spun the wheel, got 10 times my money.
Bro, you gotta hook me up.
If you use code RTP, you could get a risk-free bet up to $100. Let's get back to the video. Fuck, dude. I got like...
You all good?
Yeah, I got burp gas.
What?
I don't know what the fuck that means. Let's talk about most improved player.
Okay.
Most improved player. I feel like this is an interesting one because I don't like the way the NBA votes for most improved player. Right now, the betting favorite is Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham isn't in my top 3. Just because
Me neither. I don't think that's fair.
I don't think it's fair either. It's like when Ja won. Like, I think Young, I don't know. He's a superstar. You know, like, you go from 23 to 26. Like, there's some players that have taken very big leaps this season, and I want to give those guys their flowers.
1,000%.
I'll go first for this one. At number 3, I feel like this is a dude that isn't getting enough talk for this award. Stepped up when his guys got injured. I know they're not a good team, but Trey Murphy. I think Trey Murphy definitely deserves some credit for most improved player. He's genuinely improved a lot this season. Obviously shooting, getting to the basket. I feel like his creation is a lot better for himself this season. He always kind of seemed like a dude that was just going to be playing off the ball, but I feel like Trey Murphy could kind of do a lot more with the ball now. At number 2, bias, call it what you want, Keontae George. I feel like I talk about Keontae George all the time. I know he's young.
There's no problem with that, though.
Yeah, Keontae George is just, like, he's improved so much. His turnovers aren't as bad as they were last season. He's shooting a lot more efficiently. He's getting to the basket a lot more efficiently. And on a team with guys like Collier, who they want to play, Sexton and Clarkson, like, Keontae George is just going and showing out. Like, simply put, he's cooking. But my number 1 most improved player, this was a guy that on his previous team was damn near unplayable because he was so bad. And this season, I feel like he's shaped out a role as one of the best defenders in the NBA.
Yeah.
He's pretty good with the ball. He could shoot now. Dyson Daniels.
Yeah.
Dyson Daniels, to me, is the most improved player this season. And honestly, it pisses me off that the NBA doesn't give him his credit. Another dude I wanted to shine for this is Ty Jerome. I think Ty Jerome has improved a lot this season too. But that's my top 3.
Yeah. So I actually do like your top 3. I did. I wish that I had some of those players on. I was thinking about them, but I felt like these guys, to me, is just what my vote would go for. Only because, like, well, one,
you have a different 3 completely than me.
Different 2.
Okay, because mine I do feel like was weird. Like, it's not what
I think
the
that's
betting
still
odds
fair,
have,
though.
but it's fair. Yeah, exactly.
So at number 3, I have Jalen Williams here. Only because the reason why I would vote for him in this spot, if these other 2 weren't above him, is because he was an all-star this year. And he put up really good numbers. I know it isn't like crazy drastic, like 19-4-4 last year, 21-5-5 this year. Like, yeah, it's still pretty close, but he was an all-star this year. And I did not expect that. So to me, that's incredible improvement.
What's the argument with that being okay, but Cade not being okay?
Only because, like, well, he was an all-star. He went from being a really good role player to being an all-star this year.
But this is Cade's first all-star year. So he went from being a good player to an all-star too.
I feel like it's different, though, because he also was a star, or is a star for Detroit. Like, with this, I didn't think, like, I thought he was just going to be a third option, but now I'm debating if he's even the second or maybe, well, not first option, but second or third with Shaq.
Okay. I disagree, but I like the case you made.
That's just what I'm thinking. Because believe me, I was wrestling with it because low-key I wanted to put Ty Jerome or what was the other player I had? There was a 5th player I had, but I was wrestling with Ty Jerome going here, but I just felt like Jalen Williams' season this year shows improvement.
That's fair.
Second, I had to go with Christian Braun.
I like it. Christian Braun, I think that's a good one too.
Man, oh man, bro. Like, to me, going from 7-3-1 to 15-5-2, and then looking at his efficiency is nuts. Like, he averaged 46, 38, 69 last year shooting splits. This year, he's averaging 57, 38, 83. That's crazy improvement. And then also, there was a crazy thing I saw. Brody was... Yo, so, you know, how do you feel about VORP percentage?
I don't give a fuck about none of that, if I'm being honest. But I know a lot of people do.
Yeah. I've been looking at it more now, but he was at a 0 last year, and then he went up to a 1.2.
Okay.
I thought that was pretty cool because it's
What's that mean?
So, to me, what I saw in that is, like, pretty much you had no value. And then this year, you just rose it up. But I'm like, that's still pretty cool, especially with the 15-5-2 and 1 steal. But his efficiency is nuts. He's been playing his butt off for Denver. And honestly, I was very low on him. I was like, you lost KCP and now you're going to replace it with Christian Braun? Like, what is that going to do? And 15-5-2. That's almost better than KCP.
I feel like he's been better than KCP.
Yeah,
He's been a pretty good defender, too.
That, too.
And he is a better cutter than KCP.
Yeah.
KCP just shoots a little better, which is fine, but...
I apologize to him, man.
I like Christian Braun. I like that pick.
He's been playing really well this season.
Who's your number one?
Number one, I gotta go with Dyson Daniels.
I love it. I love
Dyson Daniels.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I think he's just been the dead ass most improved player, and it's like there's a lot of players that I feel like get this award because they're in a new position or on a new team, but Dyson Daniels dead ass was unplayable like 2 seasons ago, and now he's like he's gonna be on the defensive first team, so. Gotta give him his credit. Yeah.
But it's crazy, bro. He had 6-4-2 last year with 1 steal, and he had 14-5-4 with 3 steals this year.
He jumped up, bro.
Wow.
Jumped up. And what do you have his full stats, or are you looking at it from your notes?
I'm looking at it in my notes.
Do you have his minutes?
I think he's at 32.
I want to see that jump. I feel like is probably insane. Last season he played 22, and now he plays 34.
34?
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's insane. He's a really good basketball player, bro. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, I want to see what his plus minus is.
I think it's pretty high.
He's actually minus.
Huh?
He's actually minus.
He's on minus this year?
Yeah. Which that happens. It's just because their team is under 500 anyway. But let's go on to where do you want to go?
Let's go to Coach of the Year.
Okay.
Let's go to Coach of the Year. I think this would be a fun conversation.
Yeah, I think so too. I think for me, the 1 and 2 are pretty clear cut. I think the 1 and 2 have to be either of these two guys. The number 3 is where it's interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go with Ime Udoka at my number 3. I want to give him his credit this season for working with a young unit, and just I feel like he's elevated every player on that team. I know it's been kind of a knock without Fred VanVleet there, or being in and out of the lineup. They've kind of slipped, but for most of the season they were the number 2 seed. So I'm gonna give him his credit for coaching such a good young team there. And then my 2 and 1, I hope your 2 and 1 are the same because I'm not about to hear JJ Redick for either of those. I'm not gonna lie. But 2 or 1, my number 2 is Kenny Atkinson, and my number 1 is JB Bickerstaff. I think JB Bickerstaff deserves Coach of the Year this season. I think he's kind of shown that he's a good coach. He's playing pretty much for his job at this point.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of shit that he gets, but for a team that was never looked at seriously to be this good offensively and even defensively, I think the coach has to get a lot of credit for that. And I know they fill it out with a lot of good role players too, but I think he's put them all in the right position to succeed.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. So your Coach of the Year is JB Bickerstaff.
Yeah. Shout out Kenny Atkinson too, but y'all know what he does. Cleveland.
Honestly, I like that case, though. In Detroit basketball, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I got confused for a second. I was thinking one person's still there, and I was like, nah.
Well, think about all the dudes like Cade, career year. Malik Beasley, career year.
Yep.
Isaiah Stewart, career year.
Yep.
Jalen Duren, career year. There's just a lot of guys that are having their best years of their career. A lot of talk about, Ron Holland being a bad pick, and he's looked pretty good. Asar Thompson's a good fit there. He's having a good year. He's young, so it's career year, sure. But, I just think he's putting all his guys in the right position to succeed.
And then Malik Beasley's having a good year as
well. Career year. He is hooping. We'll talk about him for 6th Man of the Year for sure.
Yeah. Honestly, I want to apologize because I didn't have JB Bickerstaff on my list.
Wow.
I want to apologize for that. But hearing that, probably should have. But I was thinking more about these 3 guys.
Fix it then.
Huh? I don't know if I want to put them over these guys, though, because I really like these coaches.
All right, then talk about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so, once again, I apologize for not putting JB Bickerstaff on my list. But at number 3, I have Joe Mazzulla. Obviously, Boston Celtics. I just really like the fact that he's kept them pretty much operating the same way. And, yeah, they're not number 1 because, a certain team is going crazy. But they're still in their same, they're still in their average, or they're still in their mode.
Yeah.
And I respect that because it's they haven't stepped off a beat, and I feel like that deserves to be in the Coach of the Year conversation. At number 2, I have Mark Daigneault. Daigneault, only because, bro, it's OKC, and I know they were predicted without a doubt to go number 1 overall. I was one of them, easily, but they're playing way better than I thought they were. And the fact that, what was I saying? I said your net rating was up there with 90s Bulls teams with the 17-18 Warriors, that says something to me. That's like, whoa. Like, he's not just coaching. He's keeping this team at a pace that's historical team-wise. So I think that's cool, and I think that deserves Coach of the Year. What's it called? Coach of the Year credibility. At number 1, I got to go with Kenny Atkinson.
Okay.
Because
I thought you were about to spit JJ.
Nah. I want JJ to be here, but I think for example, the JB Bickerstaffs, I think he's having a better year. JJ's having a really good year, but there's coaches who are having better years.
I'm not trying to shit on JJ, by the way, guys. Like, I think JJ is.
No, I love JJ.
JJ's had a very good year coaching.
He's going to be Coach of the Year next year. Don't worry.
Settle down.
Nah, they are. Kenny Atkinson, bro, I was very down on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I thought they were going to be an 8 or 7 seed. And the fact that they jumped to number 1 and they hold it firmly, that's Coach of the Year to me, bro. That is Coach of the Year to me. And they might even beat the Thunder out for best record overall in the NBA, but no matter what, both teams going to be number 1, and I got to put both of those coaches up there. But for me, Coach of the Year this year, Kenny Atkinson.
I'm cool with it. I'm cool with Kenny, and I like your picks of Mazzulla and Daignault too. Mm-hmm. I like Daignault more than Mazzulla. I think Mazzulla might be the best coach in the NBA, but I don't know if he's having a Coach of the Year level season, if that makes sense. I look at it like MVP. Like, for a while, LeBron was the best player in the league, but he wasn't having those like MVP seasons, which is fine. I would say the same thing for Mazzulla, because I think that team has a little bit better of an expectation, but I also think they're kind of changing the game with taking 63s per game, for example. Let's go to Clutch Player of the Year.
All right.
And then we'll go 6-man and MVP. And I know you guys are gearing up for that MVP debate. But
we getting there.
When I say Clutch Player?
Yes, sir.
For Clutch Player of the Year, number 3, I have Trae Young. He's had a buzzer beater this season. Oh, excuse me. And in the clutch, he's 18 and 16. Like, that's his record this season. Number 2, Darius Garland. I feel like Darius Garland has been the guy in the clutch for the Cavs.
Yeah.
One of the best teams in basketball. In the clutch this season, they're 21 and 6. But my number 1 pick for Clutch Player of the Year, and I feel good about this one. This guy's leading all players with like more than 2 games played in clutch points per game. I think the number 1 right now is like Royce O'Neal, because he like had one like clutch situation. But I feel like he's just been delivering in the clutch. We saw it against your Lakers last week before he got hurt. Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson's my pick for Clutch Player of the Year. He should hit the 65 games. He's 3 games off, even though he's missing 2 weeks. So I think he's got it. And they're 16 and 8 in the clutch. But I feel like Jalen Brunson is the clear-cut guy in the clutch as well. I mean, actually, Mikal Bridges yesterday. So I don't know. But Jalen Brunson is that guy. So I'm going to give him his props.
No, 1,000%. I like that. He's been playing really well. No matter what's been going on with New York, they are still the 3rd seed for a reason. And
for Jalen Brunson is the fucking reason.
Exactly. So I like that. This was a weird award to me because I always wrestle with the Clutch Player of the Year stuff.
It's hard to predict because like there's clutch scoring, and I think right now Curry's the favorite.
Yeah.
But I just think if you kind of watch the games a little more intently, then it's different than just like what the stats say, because I don't think people are watching games like, ooh, I might vote for this guy for Clutch Player of the Year. You know, I think it's more of a after the fact. Like, now I'm going to look at clutch points per game. I'm going to look at clutch efficiencies and all that.
Yeah.
Which I don't think tell you the full story.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I'm going off of.
No, I feel you. That's perfect. Number 3 for me, I have Nikola Jokic here.
I wanted to put Jokic on mine.
Yeah. The only reason why I had Jokic here is because, like, I've seen not all the Denver games, but a couple of them, and they've been in a lot of clutch situations. And obviously those clutch situations have been handled by Nikola Jokic. And they've been really good buckets. They've helped put the team in a better position where Jamal Murray or, heck, Russell Westbrook scores a stinking 3 from the corner and wins the game. But, like, he's just set his team up so well and kept them in the loop. And now they're the 2nd seed. So I had to put him right here. At number 2, I had Trae Young.
Love it.
Like that game winner he had, and also like they've been in a lot of clutch moment or in a lot of like binds and stuff where he's like either thrown a great assist to his teammates to set them up, or he's just shot a great shot to put them ahead to win the game. So I had to put him here. But number one, easily, Jalen Brunson, bro.
There you go.
I just talked about it. I had to put Jalen Brunson here, bro. I've been watching a lot of Knicks games, and if it weren't for Jalen Brunson shooting them, whether it's a fadeaway three or a fadeaway midi, bro, I'm low-key scared of Jalen Brunson when it comes to the clutch, bro.
Yeah.
I'm scared of him. Like, he's reminding me of, not Kobe. What's the player's name? There was always a player.
Joe Johnson.
Well, low-key giving me Damian Lillard vibes.
Okay.
Like, almost a Dame time, but it's a little bit more like...
Joe Johnson was always clutch to me. That man,
ISO Joe, yeah.
ISO Joe executed. Even at like 35, he hit that game winner when he was on the Jazz. Like, that man just executed. So, that's who I think about. I mean, like, obviously Kobe, and then I think about fucking Joe Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh, and Wiggins versus the Thunder, because that man just ices us every fucking game. Sixth man of the year.
Here we go. This is one I have fun with a little bit.
I did too. I went with probably not the favorite to win. At number 3, I have Malik Beasley. At number 2, I have Peyton Pritchard. And at number 1, I have Ty Jerome. I think Ty Jerome deserves more sixth man of the year credit. I think he's been hooping this season. I think what I give Ty Jerome his credit is he's very versatile, where he could go out and give you buckets. He could go out and stand in the corner. He could go out and play make if you need him to. Like, I think that kind of matters more than Peyton Pritchard, who's just like, I'm going to get open and shoot. Like, sure, Peyton Pritchard's elite at that, but I like my sixth man to have a little bit more versatility.
Yeah.
And I think Ty Jerome has that.
I like that. I do. With me, the way I looked at sixth man of the year, my voting process, I went next man up mentality.
Okay. Like,
next man up. No matter if it's like coming off the bench as a sixth man or even like starting in the place of a hurt player that's important to the starting lineup, that's how I looked at it. And so the 3 players I have, at number 3, I have Naz Reid. At number 2, I have Ty Jerome. And at number 1, I went Peyton Pritchard. And I know, obvious pick, but that 40-point game he had.
That was crazy.
What was it, a 40-point triple-double?
Did he have a triple-double?
I forgot what it was. It wasn't just a 40-point. It was like something with like 40 points with 10 assists and something else. Maybe it wasn't, but either way, he dropped 40. And to me, that won it. Like, I love Ty Jerome, and his offensive win shares and offensive blocks plus minus like really impressed me, like with the 3.5 and the 3. But I just think Peyton Pritchard, the 40-point game, and the fact that he's always
43 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists.
5 assists, crazy. My bad.
So, and no turnovers.
No turnovers?
He hasn't turned the ball over in his last 5 games.
That settles it. Sixth man of the year easily. But, you know, Ty Jerome, I still want to give him flowers because I didn't expect him to go off. I remember he was playing for the Warriors, and I didn't think anything of him. But he has really carved out a role for himself with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he's probably going to be there for a long time. Like, I would want to keep him if I was a Cleveland Cavaliers fan.
Yeah, bro. I feel like I've said this on the pod before. Maybe not. But he's a dude that I did not think would be a good NBA player. Like, I always thought he had the play of a good college point guard, and I thought that was kind of going to be it. He was on the Thunder. He was cool for us, but he wasn't this. So I give him his credit because he proved me wrong. He is a very good NBA player. A very good NBA player. He's molded his game. It's kind of like the opposite of what he was in college. Like, he was a bucket in college for sure, but he was more of a traditional type of point guard. Like, now I feel like he's more of a true bucket. So I'm going to give Ty Jerome his flowers. Like, he's been really killing it this season.
You also know what's really cool? Shooting splits, he's averaging 50, 44, and 90.
That's crazy. That's crazy. MVP time.
Here we go.
So Mike Malone spoke on this week, obviously, and he said you put player A and player B on paper, like the guy's going to win MVP every time. I'm going to disagree with that, and I'm going to just get this out the way. Shai's my MVP this season. Jokic, obviously, number 2, and my number 3 is Tatum. I'm guessing you have Tatum 3, Shai 2, Jokic 1?
I actually didn't have Tatum on here.
Really? Who's your number 3?
Number 3 is Giannis.
Okay, I'm cool with it too.
Giannis.
I'm cool with it too. And then what's your list?
This pains me, bro.
I'm cool. I want to have this debate.
So
I hope you took Jokic.
I definitely took Jokic.
Okay.
Only because, here's the thing. I love SGA, and I want him to win. But then, looking at what Jokic is doing here, he's the 2nd seed, and I remember the argument at the beginning was they were the 7th or 6th seed, and the fact that they're not really up there is like the problem. Well, now they're the 2nd seed, and they're here. He's averaging 29, 13, 11 with 2 steals and 1 block, shooting 58, 43, 81. That's really impressive to me. And it's not a knock on SGA at all. SGA is averaging a ridiculous amount. He's averaging 52, 37, 90 on shooting splits. And
he's hooping.
Yeah, he's hooping, averaging 33, 5, and 6 with 2 steals.
This is what I'm gonna say. I'm on Thunder Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, if Jokic wins MVP, I'm not gonna be mad because Jokic is having an MVP level season.
Mm-hmm.
If Shai wins MVP, I'm obviously not gonna be mad. Mm-hmm. But I think both are having MVP level seasons.
Yeah.
So I think there's no point of hating, or I see so many people slamming Jokic, and obviously I feel like Shai is probably the most hated player in the NBA at this point with all the foul baiting that everyone throws around. Those are just social media conversations. Enjoy basketball for what it is. Jokic, to me, I'm not mad at him winning MVP. With that being said, sure, Jokic is all around doing a lot more offensively. Shai's the better defender, and I think Shai is having a top 3 scoring season of the 2000s.
Yeah.
Between prime Harden, prime Kobe, and Shai. And Shai's numbers are very close to those two, but Shai's doing it in less minutes and more efficiently.
Yeah.
So I think if you're on the number 1 team in basketball, you're an elite level defender, you're putting up 34 points per game, like I think you should win MVP. And I'm not going to knock Jokic in this debate at all because Jokic is having an MVP season. But I think Shai's just doing more. And Shai, Jalen Williams has missed time. Chet's missed time. Isaiah Hartenstein's missed time. Like, their role players have missed time. And they're not role players. They're like second, third, fourth options have missed time. And they're still – Caruso's missed time. They're still the number 1 team in basketball or in the West by a wide margin.
Yeah.
You know? So, it's cool. Jokic won the recent game. So, that's what the conversations are going to be now.
Yeah.
And I'm not even the type to be like – Shai's leading the league in 20-point games, 30-point games, 40-point games, and 50-point games because I don't really give a fuck about that. It's more about Shai is the best scorer in basketball. He is an elite defender. He's a good playmaker, good rebounder, but his role just isn't what Jokic's role is.
Yeah.
You know? So that's my debate for it.
Nah, I feel you, man. Like, that's good. Like, without a doubt. And just like you said, I wouldn't be mad too if SGA won it. I just think that with OKC, I think that like the only thing that's winning it for me for Nikola Jokic, not just the triple double thing, his team isn't as good as OKC's. Like, and I know that Caruso isn't there most of the time. Is he back yet?
He's back. He's been back.
Yeah, I know that. I'm just wondering. I think in my head, what would it be like if you switch the two, and would Jokic's numbers go up too if he had this OKC team? I mean, we don't know. We probably won't ever know. But
if you switch the two, Jokic would win MVP. And let me tell you why. If you switch the two, the argument would be Nikola Jokic is putting up these crazy numbers, and Chet, Jalen Williams, Isaiah Hartenstein, and everyone's missed time. But because everyone hates Shai for some reason, no one talks about that. It's just like their team is so stacked. Like, no, bro, Chet's missed majority of the season. Right? Isaiah Hartenstein, I want to say, has missed majority of the season. Jalen Williams has missed games. Caruso's missed games. Like, that hasn't really happened in Denver. Denver's had their players. It took more time for them to figure it out. But I think if this is any other player, that injuries come into play and they become an excuse. But I think with Shai, and it's not like the Denver is like 3 or 4 games back from the Thunder. It's a gap.
Yeah.
And that's because of Shai. I don't think... We've seen Jokic on teams where the star players get injured around him, and those teams are 6 seeds. Shai's team is the 1 seed with all that happening this season.
Yeah.
So, they've dealt with more, I feel like, and they are still the 1 seed, and Shai has been consistent through it all. You know? That's just me.
I would say that they have lost Aaron Gordon for some time, along with Russell Westbrook and Jamal Murray for a second, but, like...
But not majority of the season.
Yeah, that's the only thing that is a little different. But I get you.
But again, I'm not. The Thunder team is better than the Denver team, and Aaron Gordon and Westbrook do mean a little bit more to them. But it's different. I think it's an excuse that other players would have that Shai isn't getting this year. But you guys let us know at home, unless you had anything else to say. I didn't come with no stats or nothing. I'm just straight talking ball.
I feel you.
And that's just what it is. Like you said, how could a team be net rating up there with the 72-win Bulls?
Yep.
And have a player averaging 35 and him not win MVP? Like, he is the most valuable player.
I would love for him to win it, but I don't know. My vote it would go to Jokic for the triple-double.
All right, go ahead. Take your triple-doubles.
But anyways, did you want to finish it off with anything?
You got it. You close it out.
All right. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow Run the Play Network on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. Hit that bell as well, and make sure to also add the Discord in the description. But make sure to check us out. Watch videos that came out later on in the past. We out, and let's bounce.
Let's bounce, baby. Boom.